I'm Wayne Gargis. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the big and beautiful state of Texas. We're in Dallas this year for the National Truck Driving Championship, and other than being a little hot temperature-wise, it looks like it's going to be a good event. Now let's see what's going on. This is an outside view of the Stouffer Hotel where everyone is staying, and as you can see, it fits the Texas image of being big. It's a lovely hotel, and you'll see more of it as we try to recap the 4 days of truck driving championship activities. On Wednesday afternoon, after checking in at the hotel, the first official activity is to register by class of truck. These are just some scenes as our 6 Exxon champions find their way to registration for their particular class of truck. Here's our Cajun champ looking over the situation. This is our 3 tank truck champions. I'll get to some formal introductions in just a few minutes. Here's Norm and Melvin, our Connecticut champions. Next on the agenda was the equipment selection. Each driver has the option to pick from several different tractors, such as a conventional or a cab over, and usually from several makes of tractors as well. Now let's introduce our champion drivers. I said earlier we had 6 this year, and I see one oddball in a white shirt. Wonder who he is. More about him in a minute. This is Norm Mellinson, the Connecticut 5-axle van champion. This is Joe Graff, the New York tank truck champion. Next is Melvin Dennis, the Connecticut flatbed champion. And we have Al McGee, the Louisiana 5-axle van champion. This is Ron Kirkley, South Carolina tank truck champion. And Barry Goodwin, the New Jersey tank truck champion. Now, who is this mystery man in the white shirt? Why, it's none other than Exxon's own 1989 National Grand Champion driver, Mr. Bob Sherman. Bob couldn't compete this year since he was a Virginia champion in '88 and '89, but he is attending this year's Nationals as the reigning National Grand Champion and helping to coach this year's Exxon contestants. We'll tell you more about his accomplishments throughout the program, and Bob, it's always a pleasure to work with you, and we appreciate your assistance in coaching what we hope will turn out to be another National Champion driver. While the drivers were busy registering and selecting trucks, their wives were also registering for their activities. On the left is Buddy Wright's wife, Ellen, and in the dark blue is my wife, Liz. Here's Norm's wife, Betsy, better known to most of the regulars at the Nationals as the Tiger Lady. She always has lots of goodies for trading with the other wives and contestants. Now, how did I manage to get in this room with all the ladies? Wow. Oh well, they're safe. Buddy Wright was standing by outside to keep me out of trouble. Looks like he brought all of their husbands along too. Thanks a lot, buddy. Now it's test time. All the drivers are gathered here for the written examination. They're waiting until everyone gets seated and gets a pencil and gets ready for the test. Like our own Mel Dennis is concentrating hard on it already. Wow, what a fast night. It's Thursday morning already and time for the Breakfast of Champions. Looks like all of our Exxon folks are present and eager to get started in this first day of the driving competition. While some drivers are on the course, others are being interviewed individually by a contest official. Here, Barry Goodwin answers all the questions correctly, we hope. Our camera crew was even able to sneak in a few scenes of Barry performing his pre-trip inspection. The interviews and pre-trip inspections keep drivers busy until it's their turn to drive. Show them how it's done, Barry. Well, we can see one problem there, huh? Headlight out. The drivers get points for each defect that they find. Here's our first look at the driving course. There are two courses set up, one on each half of the building, left and right. Here's a few scenes of the spectators and signs from the various companies who have drivers competing this year. Our first driver on the course is the New Jersey tank truck champion, Barry Goodwin from our Linden, New Jersey terminal. We missed Barry's first two problems, but we'll pick up the action here at the side stop problem. Notice the two tall, slim cones that he just passed there on his right side. Those are markers of the lines that the rear bumper must be between. He has to stop that rear bumper between the lines marked by those two cones. That long stripe there on the right side is what he's trying to get within 6 inches of without touching it also. So that was problem number 3. Now he's making a left turn, and we'll see the barrel, the white barrel over there to his left. He must bring the trailer wheels to within 6 inches of that white barrel without either stopping or touching the barrel, or he cannot cross the boundary lines over there on his right side either. Oh, come on, Judge. Anything but a 0. I thought he made that one okay. It's hard to tell from up here what he did wrong, but apparently he either stopped, touched the barrel, or crossed the boundary line. Tough luck there, Barry. The next problem is the straight line. To drive straight through the cones without touching any of them. One that he touched. Like he touched a couple some more there. I'd take one with him, Barry. That's a tough problem. Problem number 6 is the stop line, and Barry has now stopped for measurement. .40 on that one. Okay, good run, Barry. Very good one. Next up is our New York champion, Joe Graff. Problem number 1 on the course this year is the offset alley. This is the straight pull through and back through type. Joe's doing there, you just drive simply straight through the first 2 barricades and then turn to your right and set up to back between the other 2. That's looking good, Joe. You can see you've got lined up there with the other set of barricades. Looking good. As your front bumper passes the end of the barricades, then that will complete that problem. But if you've noticed, there's another barricade back there at the rear of his truck, and that is the freight door. He has to get the trailer within 6 inches of that barricade to stop without hitting it. It's in a tight spot there coming out of that offset alley. Sure don't leave you much room for error here at the Nationals. Trying to move it over to his left a little bit, get the right side of the trailer within the edge, within the boundaries of that barricade. Both sides of your trailer must be within the boundaries of the barricade. Pulling away from that one. I see the judge holding up a big 0 back there. It looked like that his right front tire may have been on the boundary line. Now he's lining up for the side stop. I'm going to hush for a while and let Joe drive on through the course and just let you listen to some music now. Someone go take that 0 away from the judge. Put a 5 in front of it, Judge. Hold that up with the 5-0 on there, Judge. Come on, another 0, darn it. Okay, measuring at the stop line. Joe Graff from the biggest city of all, New York, New York. Good job, Joe. Oh, no, we didn't see that dismount, Joe. Brian and Peter weren't looking. Now we move south to our South Carolina champion, Ron Kirkley. This is the first time for all 3 of our tank truck champions to compete at the national level. Show them how it's done, Ron. Oh, I didn't see that. scored at 30. It's about time someone scored on that problem. Ron, you're the first one today. Apparently they've got it really set up tight. Good run, Mr. Ron Kirkley, Charleston, South Carolina. 40 on the stop line. Okay, good run, Ron. That's all of the driving competition on this Thursday. That youngster's been collecting a few pins and tiger tails, huh? Now it's back to the hotel for a quick shower and get ready for a group dinner tonight at Lowry's famous prime rib restaurant. Could I have your attention for a moment, please? I think by this time on Thursday afternoon, everybody's had an opportunity to meet everyone in the group, but I would like to take just a few minutes and have some kind of formal, informal introductions, I guess. First, my name is Wayne Gargus, and my wife, Liz. We're from Distribution South. West. Almost. On our way to the west, I guess you'd say. We're really going to miss this this event, and the only way I'll get to go back now is to get a driver from the South Houston terminal as a state champion in Texas. So I'm going to be working real hard to get that, because I really enjoy coming to these events. I'd like to call on my counterpart now from the Northeast, Mr. Peter Shelfott, and I'll let him introduce all of the folks from the Northeast. We'll show our southern hospitality and start from the north and work that.
Thank you, Wayne. That's probably the first time you really showed that southern hospitality.
Oh. I have nothing to say.
Hey, you said it was informal.
Gotta get you on tape.
Okay.
Oh.
Behind every good man is a woman, and this is my woman of 37 years, Christine Shelfott. We're from north of Boston area. Been with Exxon about 30 years, like Wayne said. I'm his counterpart in the Northeast. I'm really happy to be here with the group today, and one of the great things about the job, and Wayne's going to miss that, is we get an opportunity to share things like this with people all over the country, probably more so than anybody else except maybe Jim here in the room. With us today, we have from the Northeast, we have from the Everett Terminal, we have Gail Prizio, our fleet superintendent. Gail, would you please come up here? Gail is our fleet superintendent. She has quite a history and background.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into that now, but it goes way back.
My family has over 100 years with the company.
That's right, that's right.
But with me is my husband, Joe. He's a driver for Exxon, and hopefully he'll be in the Truck Driver Championship next year. This is the first championship I've been to, and it's really exciting, and I hope my guys do great tomorrow. With me, I have Mel Dennis. Come on up, Mel.
Busy like somebody, Mel.
He's from the New Haven terminal, and I have Norm and Betsy Mullins. Mel and Mel. They're going to be winners tomorrow, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Positive thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Okay, I thought I came along. I guess I shouldn't forget. Pete DiCatello here. He's a fleet superintendent out of the Brooklyn terminal. And if Pete, you'd come up here and share a few words with us, I'd certainly appreciate it.
My name is Pete DiCatello, Police Superintendent, New York area. I've been with the company for 28 years now. And with me is my wife, Pat DiCatello, and Helen and Joseph Graff.
Joe?
Joseph.
I appreciate it.
Oh, you can say, talk what you want, Joe.
Hi, I'm Joe Graff. I come from Long Island town. last but not least, we have Mr. Ken Jones, who's the fleet superintendent of the Linden, New Jersey Terminal. Kenneth, would you come up here, please?
Yes, sir. It's really a pleasure to be here tonight, along with my wife Lorraine. We have Barry Goodwin. Barry's a champion out of New Jersey, and I really appreciate the fact that he did a heck of a job today, and he's the guy that got us all down here. Also, we have Fleet Supervisor Brian Libby, Brian and Sharon. Come on up. Barry's going to tell us a little bit about his experience today.
Hi, my name is Barry Goodwin, and I'm a New Jersey State champion in London. Experience it's overwhelming.
Are you going to try to come back?
Yeah. Give me back.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Continuing on down, headed south, come to the east. And you know, I've had at least 8 people ask me, where is the mouth of the east? And I don't know who they're talking about. Anyone know who they're talking about? The mouth of the east. No, he's not up for enough. Who are they talking about? Yeah.
Corky.
All right. Corky really hated that he couldn't get here this year, but didn't have any drivers from the eastern area that were state champions this year, so that's really the reason that he's not here. We do have some folks from the east, though, with us who are dedicated to the program enough that they were willing to take some vacation time to come out and be with us and work. First, Bill and Nancy Harris are on vacation, visiting here in the Dallas area with her family. So they came by this afternoon and watched the festivities and are here with us tonight. Bill and Nancy, glad to have you with us. Also, a familiar face that we see every year at the National Driving Championships, Ronnie Burks. Ronnie? Ronnie serves as the coach for the Virginia State team. He's always coaching our Richmond Terminal group, and he's working here this year as a pre-trip judge. On vacation, spending a lovely vacation out here working. And returning this year for the first time ever as a non-contestant. I think this is his 9th year to attend, and he's always been a contestant, but this year he's not a contestant because he's not eligible. The reason he's not eligible this year is because he was the national grand champion last year and the state champion in Virginia for 2 consecutive years, so he had to stay out a year and give somebody else a chance. Bob and Peggy Sherman. Very proud of Bob and Peggy. They did get the National Championship Award last year, and we're proud of our management for allowing them to come back this year as the reigning National Grand Champion. From Distribution South, first of all, Al and Brenda Creech from Charleston, South Carolina. Al and Brenda, come on up. Introduce your driver.
I'm happy to be here. It's, I guess out of 4 years, we've been here 3 times. So I'm real proud of that. This year we brought Ron Kirkley for the first time, and I'm real proud of Ron. I think he had a good showing today. Ron, congratulations. I was almost late today. My hair dryer wasn't working right. But I got it worked out.
You could have walked by now.
But I'm glad to be here. I know Ron is. Ron, you want to say something?
I'll tell you what, I've never been so scared. It's amazing what gin and tonic will do for weak knees. I've really enjoyed it. This is my first time, and I've been in the state competition several times, but I don't think I've ever been quite as scared as today. glad it's over with, but I've enjoyed it. Really have. And I appreciate the opportunity to get to come.
Okay, the other fleet superintendent from the south is Buddy Wright. Buddy, your wife.
This is my wife, Ellen. Really, I came up here. No, we're not going to bite you. The reason I come up here really was to teach Peter how to speak. I'm sorry I can't understand those caws and all that talk. No, I'm just glad to be here. I'd like to thank especially all the drivers and their wives that are here, that they make this event possible for us, and especially management that sends these guys here and shows a commitment to Exxon being the best in everything we do. And sometimes we don't get recognized for it, but I don't think you can find a finer group of people or a finer company to be employed by. I'm here tonight, thank goodness, for the 4th time in 4 years since we started. And I want to go back and talk a little bit about my driver before I bring him up here. I'm not going to make it real drawn out, but about 12 years ago, I was driving at the time, and I was lucky enough to get to teach a safety class across the southeast, or across the southern states. And I got to go to Baton Rouge, and I met a gentleman. And I was driving, and he was a driver. And when I left there one day, in my pocket, I found a little note. And with the younger kids here, I'll sort of mellow it out. It said, "Kiss." And everybody can fill in the rest of it. I said, well, that's great. I know the guy that did that. And tonight, I'm going to bring him up here and say I'm proud to still be doing that, because as long as I take care of my drivers like that, I'll keep getting to come to this contest like that. Albert McGee and his wife, Jerry. I'd also like to tell you about Albert, that he is our safety leader. He's just come back from the tank truck rollover course in Houston, and he's an outstanding employee, and I appreciate the job that he does. Thank you, Al.
Thank you.
Okay, now we get to the west, and we'll start with the field distribution manager in the west, Mr. Jesse Tyson. Yes.
Thank you. Let me welcome all of you all to the western area and to Dallas, Texas. And on behalf of John Biovaci, Tom Tucker, Gary Weed, and myself, congratulations to all of you, because you all are truly winners. Remember, you're here to compete, but more importantly, you're here to have fun and make sure that your wives or husbands, whichever the case may be, have a good time while they're here in Dallas. I'm going to introduce Dick Stafford, who's the operations manager for the North Texas zone here in Dallas. And I don't know where Dick is sitting. Oh, here he is, right here. And Mel Price.
Come on up there.
Come on up,
Get your
Dick.
picture there. Mel?
And Mel Price, who is the police superintendent in Dallas, and his wife, Jackie.
Jackie, come on.
No, we're going to have to put on something.
Gotta get your picture.
And so I think Dick has some comments.
Just so Jesse always have a comment. I'm not gonna make any excuses. I'm not embarrassed, but we have really good drivers in Dallas. They're gonna be here next
We did have a driver from the Dallas terminal that came over this afternoon and watched the competition, Leo McElroy, and along with him was a driver annuitant, Mr. Jesse Wilson. Both of those gentlemen spent the entire afternoon over there watching the competition. They're very dedicated to the program, and we appreciate them taking the time to come out and be with us. I'd like to take just a moment and introduce also our director of the videotaping behind the camera there, Mr. Henry Martinez from Houston. And the guy assisting him there, David Gutierrez,
Yeah.
Gutierrez. I'll let you pronounce it for me.
You'll learn. You'll learn. You'll learn. You'll learn.
We'll have to go to school like you.
You'll be parking your car next to me.
Also, from Houston, it's real good to have our staff safety specialist with us, Robert McGrath. Robert, would you like to say anything?
No, I'm really happy to see all you guys come out and compete as you are. I think this is really wonderful for our safety program.
Mr. Mark Lacey, could I get you to come up here with me for just a moment, please, sir?
You bet.
On Saturday morning, each of you drivers, being a state champion, you will receive your silver champion belt buckle. Tonight, we're going to give you a new belt to go with that buckle, one that's been personalized with your name on it. First of all, Ron. Joe. And your wife, we have a souvenir for your wife.
A man that speaks with my kind of accent.
Now we know why he's waiting.
Norm and Betsy. Barry.
You don't need a belt for him.
You better watch it, I tell you.
Yeah, look at Joey. I want to know what you guys are saying about me earlier.
Talk to him, he'll tell you.
Al.
You think I ought to tell him?
We made a shot at that American Money's home video. You tell that up here.
All of you ladies now that did not get a scarf, come on up. We've got a scarf for you. It's my pleasure now to introduce our distribution manager, Mr. Jim Margalisi, who would like to say a few words to you.
Well, it's sure good to be with you here tonight. I wasn't able to make last year's event in Memphis. And this is particularly special for me, given that I just was transferred earlier this week to a new assignment. And I'll be going over to manage specialty products effective September 1st. So I'm really pleased to be here. What a perfect way to end my 20 months or so in distribution, to be able to celebrate with you tonight all of our state champions. And it's really with some real pride that we have 6 drivers competing in this prestigious event, which is, you know, as I like it, a Super Bowl of professional truck drivers. This activity is really important to distribution in that it complements so well our safety program in terms of really perfecting our driving skills, which you know better than I are just so important as you're out there on the highways dealing with all the traffic as you do your work. And I think having the excitement of an event like this and all the camaraderie and fun, and it really is fun, I think serves as a model for all our other drivers, that they all are gunning to try and get here each year that this event is held. So I congratulate all of the winners, and you really are all winners, no matter what the score is in the Nationals. And I really appreciate all the time and dedication an extra effort that it goes in that I know you put into practice for this championship event. And you really are serving as role models for all of our employees. So I congratulate you. I thank you for all the support that you've given me as distribution manager, and I know you'll be giving that same support to my successor. And let's enjoy the evening and the comradeship and enjoy it. Thank you.
You and Robert come up here. Robert. I'd like to present you three with a little souvenir of the occasion. It's not a bag of dirty laundry, believe me. Although it's in a laundry bag. It's a cap and a t-shirt with the 1990 National Truck Driving Championship.
Oh, that's
on it.
great.
We appreciate you
Thank you.
taking the time out of your busy
Now I've got something to put some of those stick pins in.
Did Henry get this?
They only had extra large, and you're going to have to...
I believe that's the right size.
Somehow, I don't think it's going to fit.
Anyone have any questions or had any problems at the hotel or anything that I might can help you with? If you have any problems with anything, let me know and I'll try to help you. Enjoy your meal. Thank you.
Wait a minute before anybody moves, because I've got a problem. Uh-oh. You know, Gargus always comes in and he takes over. He never lets Peter do much of anything. Right, Peter? You know, that's the reason Corky didn't have any winners. He said he was tired of Wayne running the show. This year, he's got a grand champion. Stand up, Bob. This guy's a grand champion. The best in the United States driving a truck. And he said, yeah, here's Bob Sherman and his lovely wife. And sit down, Bob. I don't want you. I'm up to look in front of the camera. Bob, come on up and take over the camera. I think you got something to say.
First of all, I would like to thank management in Houston, especially for the support that they've given championship drivers in this event. The drivers are always the ones receiving the plaques, receiving the trophies. And this year, I'm especially proud that the drivers asked me to present this plaque to a man that's supported the rodeo and the truck driving championships since 1985, the way Wayne Gargus has. He's always the man there to give the drivers the awards and the recognition that they've earned, even more than what I've earned. I've got more from Mr. Gargus. Wayne, would you come up? I'd just like to read you the plaque that the drivers asked me to present to you. Appreciation 1990 to Wayne Gargus. Thanks for an untiring commitment of excellence in the promotion of the Safe Driving Championships. Your effort and support toward the improvement of the program will always be remembered. Best wishes in all future endeavors from Exxon Championship drivers. Appreciate all your support, Wayne.
Very nice. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot.
Hey, buddy, you did it again. You talk about a communications gap and
Well,
I had a little something too. Communication.
Is this a going away party?
This is a good. You said it all, Bob, so I'm not going to say it over again. Bob said it all about the man behind the scenes, and we really got a lot to be thankful about. We got a lot that we're going to lose with Wayne going into South Houston Terminal as a fleet superintendent. I don't know if y'all are aware of that. And Wayne, the challenge is going to be on you. Number one, to get some people over here to the Truck Driving Championships next year. Number two, we're going to see if you're going to put your money where your mouth is when you're talking about production versus safety. Now you're on the other side of the coin. We're going to see. Okay. In all the time that we work together, this is a little something that it's from the other field safety specialists. There's only 4 of us in the country at this point. Now we're just about to lose one and get reduced to 3. But I know, Wayne, how much you love New Jersey, and I think there is an opening up there, but New Jersey and you would be perfect together every time you come up. I thought that would be great. There's a little something, you have to excuse the rapping, but they, you know, these purely supreme supermarket with a limited budget, you know that, right, Jim?
Right.
This is just a little something, I mean, that, you know, there's one thing, you know, over the years of the past, I don't know how many years, we've been working together, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, I don't know. But as a group, probably in the past 4 or 5 years, the 4 of us, 4 safety specialists in the country, Wayne, Randy, Corky, and myself have worked very diligently together. And one of the things we always had problems was when we'd get together, we talk about debate and agreeing on something. I mean, man, you talk about the corporate structure and agreeing something. We'd spend 2 days arguing over some little point where the driver should put his left hand out first or his right hand out first to take the check or whatever. But Wayne, one thing I want to tell you, I know you were shocked when my wife said, Peter's normally quiet, Wayne, like I want to drive. But one thing I want to tell you, Wayne, it didn't take any time at all for the other 3 of us to agree that you were #1 in our books. We thought that we would like to present you with this just little token of appreciation. And I'll read it for you. It says, H. Wayne Gargas, thanks for all the help and support you've given to our safety team over the years. Corky, Peter, and Randy. And good luck in your new job. They regretfully, through some of the budget cutting that's going around, you know, that could not be here, and they asked me to express my sincere thanks.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, come on now.
Wait to move out of the way. Okay.
Okay. And if they worked as hard as we did, they would have been here too.
That's right. Thank you, Peter.
That may come back. You may want to pull that one back, but you can.
Hey, hey, wait, I thought you cut that taping out.
Well, what an enjoyable evening. Good food, good people, and lots of fun. It's now Friday morning. We're back for completion of the first round driving competition. A few more scenes of the crowd and the signs from various trucking companies. The judges are just finishing the walkthrough with those drivers who are driving today. First out for Exxon today is the Connecticut flatbed champion, Mel Dennis. You've probably heard it said that there's a clown in every group. Well, if that's true, Mel is our clown this year. What a great guy he is. You can laugh a minute. Well, you should do all right with this truck. There's no tank back there to block your view. Show him how to do it Yankee style, Mel, and I'll shut up and listen to some music as he puts it through his paces. Melvin Dennis, flatbed champion, New Haven, Connecticut terminal, going up to the stop line. Blow your horn, Mel. Good job, Mel. Good job. And by the way, a perfect exit from the cab, too. Thanks. Now our other Connecticut champion, Norm Mellinson. Norm has been here every year since 1985 and probably several years before that. If he's not a contestant, he takes vacation and works as a judge or an equipment handler. And Norm and his wife Betsy are both very dedicated to Exxon and to this great event. Good luck to you, Norm. I hope this is the year that you earn that national championship that you've been working so hard for all these years. Good luck to you. best I can figure out what they're doing on that this year, as you notice, there's no, I call them pogo sticks, that extend out from the top of those cones. Apparently they're using the base of the cones. And if a tire touches the base, of course, that's 5 points off, but they've added something a little bit different, I think, this year. Apparently, if you touch a cone on one side, then that disqualifies you from that cone on the opposite side of it. In other words, you have to pass through the cone on each side, opposite each other, before you can score anything. And if you hit a cone on one side or the other, on each one of them as you go down, then you don't get a score. For a long time, nobody scored on that one at all. And finally, Ron Kirkley was the first one to score on it this morning. Show us that big sign. Okay, they finally learned how to put a 5 in front of that 0. 5-0, Norm Mellinson. Good job. Get another one there on that stop line now. I didn't see all of the scores as Norm was going around, but I think he scored on everything. I can't recall seeing a 0. Good run, Mr. Norm Mellinson, 5-axle van champion, New Haven, Connecticut. That guy in the blue shirt there just got into the truck. That's one of the jobs that Norm performs sometimes when he's not a contestant, an equipment handler, taking the truck from that point and moving it around, either parking it or getting it in line for the next driver. Okay, another 50 on the stop line. Good score. From the sound of that music, you should be able to tell that our next contestant is from Louisiana. 5-axle van champion, Al McGee, Baton Rouge. This is Al's first trip to Nashville. And he's been having so much fun, I bet he'll try hard to come back. offset alley there. I didn't see any problem with that, so that's good. 2 problems and 100 points. Can't beat that. Was that close or was that close? That sure looked like another 5-0 to me. It was 5-0. Oh boy, I think Al's got something going here. He's got something going. Another 5-0. Add another 50 to that now. Al, it's the top line. I didn't see the score on the side part. I didn't see the sign on the offset alley either. But I believe Al has got something going now for sure. We may have ourselves another national champion here. Put it on the line, Big Al. Over off of the 5. Don't keep us in suspense any longer. Come on. All right. Another 50. Al McGee, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Excellent run. Excellent. Hey, that's great. What a beautiful job. Fantastic. All right. Look at that, look at that. Great. There's the woman behind it. All right, that's great. Oh, that's beautiful. That probably put him in the runoff, didn't it? Yeah, he's as of right now, I'd say he's in the 95, 290. I would say that group was excited, huh? With a score of 290, sure Al will be in the runoff on Saturday for sure with that. Here are just a few more scenes of some of the crowd watching the competition today. Still lots of pin and souvenir trading going on. That's always a big event here at the Nationals every year. Now let's listen to some interviews with our champion drivers.
Norm has been selected Driver of the Month in the year 1988 and 1989, and in the year 1988 he was selected as Driver of the Year from the state of Connecticut. In 1983 competed at the Nationals, and in the last couple of years he has come down to the Nationals as an equipment handler and judge. Norm, how do you feel what advice would you like to offer from your experiences to rookies, new drivers, whatever?
Seeing as this has been my second year of competition, I would advise the drivers that would be competing in the up-and-coming rodeos to be very confident in what they can do. Most drivers that we have are real professional people. I think they have the confidence in themselves and not to get themselves in a position where they feel that they can't compete against other drivers. In our profession, we have a lot of people out here, and we're all out here for the same reason, for first, it's safety and to compete and to be recognized as all winners, which we all are, because we have to win our state championships first. To advise a person coming out to the Nationals, even for their first time, be very confident in what you're doing and be very deliberate in your selection of equipment. And when you get out on the course, pay strict attention to the rules and what the judges have to tell you. And be confident in yourself that you can go out and run the course and to become a champion.
This is Ron Kirkley, our tank truck champion from South Carolina for 1990. Ron is from our Charleston terminal. Ron, this is your first time to compete at the national level. Do you feel the experiences that you've gained here will help you to be a better driver for Exxon when you return home to Charleston?
This being my first time in the national competitive level, the experience I've gained here competing against the cream of the crop and a higher level of competition, I'd like to take that back and use it in my everyday routine at work, and also relay the things that I have learned here and experienced here to my fellow drivers at the Charleston terminal.
Well, time really flies when you're having fun. Here it is Saturday morning already. I mean early Saturday morning. Drivers are beginning to come in to line up now for what's called the Parade of Champions. Each driver will receive a silver belt buckle, a cap, and a silver medallion. And these are some the additional awards just for being a state champion. Here comes our first Exxon driver, looking happy this morning, but he's always happy. Right, Mel? There's some other Exxon drivers coming in behind him as they line up. They line up by class of truck. Mal, wide awake this morning. Waving up to his wife. Here's some of the trophies that will be presented later this afternoon when they announce the first, second, and third place winners in each class of truck. Nice trophies.
Next, I would like to introduce to you all 319 state champions. As they come across the stage, they will receive the bell buckles for the state championship recognition. Alvin Dennis, Exxon from the USA. Seller, A. Raw, Royal Chemical Carrier. District of Columbia, Josh Turner,
Well, you know, I have to say the same thing, too.
South Carolina, Exxon Company, USA. From South Dakota, George Bill, Farming Industry Incorporated. From Tennessee, Ray Shelton, Marquis, West Marquis. From Texas, Ed Vernon, Mexico Trade and Transportation. Utah, Florida Session, Lindy. From Virginia, Tony Salvador Jr., Salvador College. From Washington, Marvin Kahn, Union Carbide, Division. From West Virginia, Larry Cross, and Rotor Company. From Wisconsin, Michael Bass, Rail Transport Incorporated. And their head coach, Bob Axington, Vernon, and Paul Atkins. Out of the Arizona, Galen Spangler, and Ron Exxon Company, USA. From Delaware, Robert Graham, Royal Chemical Carrier. The District of Columbia, Lowell Martin, State Police Force. From Florida, Jeffrey Taylor, Public Support. From Georgia, Douglas McCann, Overnight Transportation Company. From Ohio, Clarence Luke, Idaho, Jackie Emmons, Louisiana, Albert McGee, Exxon Company.
for the announcement of the top 3 finalists in each class of truck. Lana Bass. The trucks you see driving around the course now is what is called the parade of equipment. All of this equipment is donated, so this gives the ATA people a chance to do a little advertising for the companies who so generously donate their equipment each year to be used in the national competition. Boy, take a look at that freight train on rubber tires coming up there, a triples unit. I'd like to see him put that one through the course. It's just a matter of time, I guess, until we'll have triples competition in the Nationals. Roadway and Consolidated Freight, both usually donate equipment every year for the Nationals. Coming up back there in the yellow is the Auto Transporters class of truck. That's a pretty tough one in the competition. A lot of hangover back on the rear end on that one. If you don't drive one, you really couldn't do very well in this competition in changing classes of trucks in that one. That's one that most drivers usually try to avoid. While they're completing the parade and setting up the course, let's continue with our interviews of the Exxon champions.
Hi, I'd like to introduce this morning Barry Goodwin. He's a tank truck driver at the Nationals here in Dallas, Texas, from Linden, New Jersey. Barry's been with us about 4.5 years. Barry, as rookie this year, would you tell us how it feels to be in the Nationals?
Yeah, being in the National for me this year is very exciting. I got to meet a lot of drivers from different states. They're very friendly. I was nervous at first, but now I'm okay. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of food to eat. Just was nice.
We have here this morning Melvin Dennis out of the New Haven, Connecticut terminal with Exxon Company USA. Mel's been with us for 12.5 years. 1982, Mel, you competed in the straight truck class of the Nationals. And again in 1988, you're in the Twins in St. Louis. Now this year in Dallas, you're in the flatbed. You find it difficult to make adjustments to the various kinds of equipment that you're driving?
Well, Peter, making the adjustments wasn't hard at all. It's just the idea of getting in the truck, just relaxing and doing what you do every day. The only difference is you probably have to just make the difference of the type of unit that you're driving. This year in the 1990s, I was driving the flatbed, in which in my particular workforce I drive a tanker truck. The 88s, I drove a 10 trucks. It was very fun because when I went to the state rodeo, it was the first time in my life I ever drove a twin unit. And then just to get the idea of looking at these two things separating and going down the course, the difference it was a lot of fun. I thought it was a big joke. It was great.
We have here this morning Joe Graff Jr. driving out of the tank truck class from Holtzville, Long Island. Joe's the most senior driver here with the Exxon Group with over 30 years of service. Obviously, a lot of this experience has been in the New York area. 30 years in the New York area is equivalent to about 60 years in the rest of the country. Would you agree to this, Joe?
Driving in New York definitely has given me the experience of defensive driving. Also has helped definitely in the eligibility of going to the New York State Championship, which I won, and helped me have the confidence to compete in the Truck Driving National Championship down here in Dallas, Texas. Now let's watch our Louisiana champion and national finalist as he drives a new course, hopefully on his way to a national championship. Good luck to you, Mr. Al McGee from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Well, as you can see, they made the straight line problem a little different on this course. An entirely different course from the one they drove either on Thursday or Friday. See what kind of score he made on that. If they hold up the scorecards, sometimes in the finals they don't hold up the scorecards, so just have to wait and see. I believe he has a 25. Okay, we'll take that. This time they've got a right turn, but notice one thing different here. They've added a line past the barrel, so you can't touch the barrel, neither can your tire touch the line after you come around the barrel. They're always coming up with something different at these nationals, and just about any one of the problems, they can make them somewhat different. Throw you off, I guess. But that's the mark of a good professional, being able to adjust to all of the changing conditions that you're faced with every day on the road. Al's taking his time as he brings it on around there, concentrating hard. Well, there was a second barrel there. Gosh, that's really changed that. Okay, I see it now. Gosh, they took a measurement, or didn't take a measurement, but he had to get within 6 inches of the second barrel on that right turn. A double barrel right turn. Okay, instead of just a freight door, it looks like we've got an alley dock, but it's a one-sided alley dock. This barricade's over on the far side, nothing on this side. I've seen that one before, but I think I see something out there that's a little different. I'll wait and see before I comment on it. Free pull-up. Sometimes drivers get in this competition, they get so keyed up and nervous they forget about the fact that they can take a pull-up. But on a problem like this, you have one free pull-up, and then each additional pull-up is only 5 points, as long as you haven't hit a boundary line or struck a barricade. It's just 5 points for a pull-up. So it's best if you don't feel comfortable with your truck's position, then it's best to take that 5-point demerit and go ahead and pull up. .45 is much better than a 0 any day. Take another pull-up, so that's a 5-point demerit. I'll comment on that item that I noticed that's a little different now. If you notice right there at the back of his truck, now you see that line on the bottom? I'm wondering if that's where they're going to measure from. And I believe it is. Look at the measuring stick that he has in his hand. He sure is. And boy, Al put it right on the line. You couldn't get much closer than that. Okay, that's very unusual. First time I've seen that. Normally you back up to the dock, the simulated dock there, the barricade, but this time you had to stop about 3 feet away from it at the line. Al nailed that one. 5-point demerit for the pull-up, so he probably got a 45 on that one. Good score. Speed bump out there, looks like, that he ran over. That yellow speed bump. I saw the tractor tandems go up, now the trailer tandems are running over it. Yeah, it is like a speed bump. That must be a rear stop line. Sure enough, it is. Rear stop line. Okay, Al, did you nail that one? He's in scoring position. offset alley type, straight pull through, offset to the left. 30 on the rear stop, okay. Haven't seen all of the scorecards on the problems as Al went through them, but I do believe that he's accumulating another good score here. In order to determine first, second, and third place rankings after each 3 drivers in each class of truck drive off, they add these scores today to their existing scores for both the driving, the pre-trip, the written test, the personal interviews, everything that they've accumulated points on up to this point. The score today is added to that, and then of course the high score will be the national champion in that class of truck. And we're hoping this year that that will be none other than our own Mr. Al McGee. As he comes up to the last problem, there's a 50 on the offset alley. Good job. Now just get another 50 there, Miguel, on the stop line. And we feel like that you're on your way to a national championship. Give us another sign up there, Judge. We could spend another 50. Writing down the score. Come on, there he comes. Oh, 45, okay, we'll take that. Al McGee, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Good job, Al. Well, I know Al must be feeling quite relieved at this point, having all of that behind him. Excellent run today, and Al will keep our fingers crossed for you. Now let's continue with the interviews of our Exxon champions. This is Al McGee from Baton Rouge. Al is the 1990 Louisiana champion in the 5-axle van class. Al, this is your first time at the national level. Now that you're a state champion and you've competed here at the nationals and made it all the way to the finals, tell us if you feel the extra work and effort you put forth in getting here was worthwhile to you.
It's just hard to put into your own words, as to what takes place here. It is. Everybody here shows you a great time. It's worth the effort. It really is. I've had a great time. I had a blast here. It's just, I can't describe it. I'm still nervous from the driving and everything, but I've had a great time. Yes, it's really worth the effort.
This is Bob Sherman from Richmond, Virginia. Bob is the 1989 ATA National Grand Champion. Bob, a question I'm sure that's on a lot of our drivers' minds. How does it feel to be the #1 truck driver in the country?
Wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling to be named National Grand Champion driver. I'm honored to have achieved this goal after 20 years of competition.
Bob, how does it feel to be here at the Nationals for the first time as a non-contestant?
I appreciate the opportunity for Peg and I to be able to attend the championships as a non-contestant. I especially enjoyed mingling with friends that I've made over the years without the pressure of competition.
Bob, I saw you talking to our 6 Exxon contestants several times this week. What kind of advice have you given them?
I think the best advice I gave was to stay calm and concentrate. But if you make a mistake, keep going. Don't give up.
You will be eligible to compete again next year, and I'm wondering how you're going to feel about competing again since you've already won the 2 top awards at the national level, the Sondheimer Award and the National Grand Championship.
I'm looking forward to the challenge of competing in the championships again in 1991. But all I can do is the best I can, and hopefully I can pull another national championship or grand championship title out of it.
Here's a picture of the ring Bob was awarded in 1989 as National Grand Champion. He's been the Virginia State Champion 8 times, plus 5 times in second place, won the Nationals twice in 1978 and 89, plus Grand Champion in 1989. He also won the Sondheimer Award in 1984. That silver trophy there is for this year's Sontimer Award winner before the National Grand Champion Award, which was the very most coveted award at the Nationals each year. These are nice trophies. I'd sure like to see more of our Exxon drivers win some of these. The first, second, and third place are all extremely nice trophies. Those first place ones especially are very heavy too, and the Sontimer Award, very nice. There's a little closer view of the first, second, and third. And there's another look at the Grand Champion ring. Now, let's go back live to the stage where they're ready to announce this year's first, second, and third place winners in each class of truck. Well, Al was shaking his head there as like he still can't believe it. Pinch yourself, Al. Wake up. It's true. You are the national champion in the 5-axle van class. An excellent, excellent job. Being congratulated there by some more of the officials and receiving all of his awards. Here's Al with his two competitors in the finals this year for the 5-axle van championship. And that's a gold belt buckle that Al is holding there now, which he received as first place winner. That's in addition to the silver buckle that he'd received earlier this morning. And here he is with an LA State Trooper friend and his fleet superintendent, Buddy Wright. And now here comes some more of the Exxon folks and other well-wishers. See, you got him a toy truck also. Are you going to drive that truck, Al, along with your tank truck? Lots of Exxon folks coming up here. Give him congratulations. There's an annuitant there from Dallas. A long-time friend, and we'll talk more about him and Jesse and Al in just a few minutes. He's already given his truck away to his wife, I see. Making her carry all the heavy stuff, huh? Proud of that trophy and that gold belt buckle. I don't blame you, Al. It's a lot to be proud of. Good job. He even gets a big kiss. All right. Once again, congratulations to all of our Exxon champions this year for a fantastic job. Starting on the left side, Mr. Barry Goodwin. And next to him, Mr. Joe Graff from New York. And Ron Kirkley from Charleston, South Carolina. And Norm Mellinson from New Haven, Connecticut. Our champion Al McGee from Baton Rouge, still smiling. And Mel Dennis, also from New Haven, Connecticut. And a close-up shot of the gold belt buckle that our champion will wear so proudly for many, many years to come. Now it's party time. After all of that excitement, we're going to take time out to eat and relax for a little while before tonight's banquet activities. This is just a little party that we had on Saturday afternoon there at the hotel. Let everybody unwind just a little bit. It's about time for some unwinding and eating. We had a late lunch. Nobody would dare leave the competition to go get anything to eat, so we just had to tough it out. It's about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon now, so we're all quite hungry after all that excitement.
And you too can be at the Nationals.
Thank you.
We've been having this little celebration party, we call it, since 1985, and I think I've said the same thing every year, and it still holds true. We've always had something to celebrate every year, because to be here requires you to be a state champion. So we've had good reason for celebration. Last year, as you know, Bob Sherman gave us even more to celebrate, and again this year we had a repeat from our performance last year, and now we've got another first place winner, which gives us even greater reason to celebrate. So Al, come on. We really appreciate you, appreciate all your hard work and effort. I'll have to tell you this, earlier today I interviewed Al on camera, and a question that I asked him was, since he's a state champion now, and since he had got here and got to compete at the national level and got into the finals, I said, do you really feel like the extra work and effort that you had to put forth to get here was worthwhile? And he answered that very positively and said yes. When he walked in the room a little bit ago after it was announced that he's the first place winner in the 5-axle van class, he said, I can answer your question better now. The answer is hell yes. With him, and it's all yours. You can say whatever you want to the group.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, fellas, don't, if it hasn't been here yet, don't give up, keep trying, work at it. It's worth the effort. I guarantee it is.
We're hoping, of course, that Al will be another grand champion for us. We won't know that, of course, until tonight at the banquet, when the grand champion will be awarded, announced. But we're keeping our fingers crossed and hoping for the best.
Well, even if not, you know, this is good. I'm overwhelmed now.
I don't know if he could take the other or not. I have to bury him.
I think there is some crutches tonight, Al.
So it's great to have two champions now. Bob, why don't you and Peggy come on up?
Yes, Latin, sit down.
This group can now boast and brag about the fact that we've got two national champions back to back. All yours, Mr. Sherman.
Well, I'll go along with Al. I know what Al's feeling now, and I sure hope you enjoy it, Al, and it'll stay with you a long time. As long as you live, it'll stay with you, becoming a national champion. And I'd like to express the same as Al and the other drivers that are here and competed. They did a heck of a good job, and they'll tell you that it's worth the effort just to get here. And when you're able to do what Al did, it don't matter how the hell hard you have to work at it, it's worth it.
Thanks a lot.
To see you on my TV for 8 hours a day. Like
I cannot talk to Grand Champ. I'm gonna make video stuff to Mr. Sherman.
You inherit that thing.
No, I don't inherit it. I'm gonna let Mr. Sherman.
Throughout all of the truck driving championships, no matter where they are, the wives are the ones who deserve a lot of credit.
They certainly do. Without them performing.
She has been behind me 100%.
I never get made to do it. Want to just go around the room now and give everybody a chance to say whatever, and since the mouth of the East is not here, I'm always dreadful of doing this, but I don't think Peter's going to talk as much as Corky would if he is here. So Peter?
No way am I going to talk as much as Corky or even attempt to Wayne. I just want to again thank you for all the help and effort that you put into it, and certainly have made this a success over the past 5 years. We're going to wish you luck. The only thing I just did want to say, you said it all, is I want to really extend my congratulations to every single person in the room, and certainly on behalf of my wife and myself, I want to especially thank you, because if it wasn't for you fellas here, the effort that you put into it, I and none of the rest of us would be here. So just keep up the good work, and we'll do what we can to support you back at the back of the range. Thank you.
Your husband and sons?
He's up to the room.
Okay,
But I know why
bring
they
the
have
drivers.
me follow Peter, because I talk funny, right, buddy?
I need to bring the drivers and their wives up here.
Come on, Mel. That's it.
I like the way you said that, Bill.
I'm gonna have my practice on. You want that? Come up.
I want to congratulate Al for the great job he did, and congratulate everyone that's made it here. They're all champs, regardless of, you know, what place they placed. They came here as champs, and they're leaving as champs. And hopefully we can do it again next year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Y'all will say anything?
No.
Well, I've been the guy that talks all the time, doesn't want to say
I can't talk in front of these people. You forget it, you probably already.
This is rehearsal.
This is rehearsal.
I just want to, I was taking the, which was nice about the whole thing when I was taking my, what do you call it? See, I can't even say anything. When the guy was talking to me, yeah, my personal interview, he was asking a few questions about Exxon. What did I think about safety? Whatever he asked the question, I said, well, working with Exxon is probably one of the greatest things that can happen to anyone if you ever work for Exxon. I say, if we have a problem, we usually talk to one of the drivers. We can talk to them and then try to get us out of what's going on. And I've been with Mel, and which is Tom and Fowler. He's not here now, which we work together a lot, and they helped a lot. And I'm working with a few other guys, which started me into the rodeo. And what really impressed me a lot when I first saw Bob Sherman in this movie, which really helped me a lot too. But then when I got on the course, I forgot everything everybody told me. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, I would like to also extend my congratulations again to Al. Al and I both were in the bullpen together, and I tell you, he tells the greatest fish stories in the world. And if it wasn't for him, I think I would have been a lot tighter today, but boy, he kept me loose. And again, I must extend my congratulations to Bobby Sherman. He was our champion last year, and the videos and films that they did send to us this year helped tremendously. When I did get out on the course, all I could think of was the things that I had learned from the film and what I had learned over the years. And again, I can reiterate what Al had said, all the practice that you put into it was really worth it. And I got to congratulate my wife. She's another one that's 100% behind me all the way.
She's the final champ. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Creech. Here's Brenda and Ron.
Bring the whole fleet up here from Charleston. Well, even though Ron wasn't the grand champion, he's a champion in my book. And we've, like I said last night, we've been here 3 out of 4 years. I think we've got a fine record going. But today I was extremely proud of Al when he was announced the winner. I saw that team effort really between his wife and himself, and it really showed that she was behind him all the way. And as I said before, I think that's a big part. It takes a team to win. And also another thing I learned was that it's just not an average driver that's going to be here. You got to be above average, and I think that's what it takes. And all these guys in this room are above average in my book, and all the people behind them also. And also, I'd like to thank my wife for supporting me. Takes a team effort all the way.
Well, I'd like to say this being my first time at the Nationals, and my biggest impression, not knowing what to expect when I got here, and you can look at tapes, but you never really know what to expect. And the thing that I was impressed with most is the level of competition, but also guys that I'd never seen before in my life, and some I may never see again. But the camaraderie that developed just in a matter of hours, and the encouragement that the other guys would give you, even though they were competing against you, really impressed me. And if any drivers within Exxon thinks that it's not worth the effort to try to make it this far, that's a mistake on your part, because it is. Thank you.
We talk about the World Series, you talk about the Super Bowl. The National Truck Driving Championship is the same thing for all of the guys who work for us. We have probably 10 times as many guys back home who put the effort in, and the guys that got here are the cream of the crop. They're the state champions, the best in their state. I'm proud of every one of them, especially proud of Barry and Al. We can't say enough to the folks. These guys have worked hard, and we got to get the word back to the rest of the folks that it is worth it, the work and toil, and they too can be here in the Nationals. This is it, it's the top. And Barry, maybe you'd like to say a word. One other thing, I'd like to thank my wife. After 26 years of supporting me with this outfit, she keeps right behind us, and thank you.
Well, what can I say? I'm a rookie. 2 years, and here I'm at the National. Maybe next year I'll be one of the grand champions.
That's the right spirit.
That's it.
Brian?
All I can say is thank you very much, everybody. The proof is in the pudding. Just work a little harder, and you too can be here. And again, to Sharon, thank you.
I failed to mention at the dinner the other night, I was talking about the guys from the Richmond terminal coming here on their vacation to work. And I failed to mention the fact that Brian also comes every year on his own time on vacation to work as an announcer here and does a fantastic job. And Brian, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Leo McElroy, and a former driver from the Dallas terminal who's now in Newton, Jesse White and his wife, good friends of Al, so I'll let Al introduce them or tell stories on them or whatever.
Lord, we can tell some stories. Jesse broke me in for the company in January 2nd, 1967. And he and I have been close friends ever since. And Jesse, appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah? Love you, darling. Thank you, Keisha. I appreciate you coming to support me.
And we expect to see you at the Nationals next year as a Texas state champion, right? Right.
That's it. Good. Joseph Graff and his wife Helen were from the New York area, and I'd like to thank Joe very much for getting me here. This is the first time I've ever been to the Nationals, and it's very, very exciting. Last year at the state rodeo, Joe came in, I believe it was 4th place, and at that time he says, next year I'm going to take it. And he did take it at the state. And knowing Joe, the way I know him, the competitive nature that he is, I can almost rest assured that I'm going to be seeing some of you people in Minneapolis next year.
Very good.
Joe?
Well, I thank you, Pete, for all your confidence and all your help there on even, or should I say, Exxon. Mostly Pete here. contributed a lot of time and effort there to get me into the state, winning the state. I thank Exxon, and I'm glad to be here in the Nationals. I've met a lot of nice Exxon drivers, some of the very best drivers around. Other than being so nervous out there driving today, the other day, I think I was more nervous for Al. Well, he was out there running. I think I was making every move for him. Anyway, geez, I hope I'm down here next year, and I hope I can win the, make a good score. He's going to be my idol, I guess. I hope I catch him on TV there, you know. Well, this is my darling wife, Helen. She contributed a lot to me. She had a lot of patience with me, you know. I mean, after all. What?
You would cut that out for you. The young lady that keeps me going, my wife Liz. Good evening. She does keep me going. You lad, you're next. Come on, man.
Yeah, but I'm your friend now.
Come on, Ellen.
Well, I'd like to say to everybody, thank you, and thank you to the best people in the world. And when I get up here, I'm not talking about in company and employees, I'm talking about friends. And I think that's what you get out of this. We've been lucky enough to come for the last 4 years, and it's just been great. You meet some of the finest people in the world, and I'm proud that I've got a national champion out of our terminal. He does an outstanding job. He did make me a little nervous, a little sick today, but but he does. He's outstanding. I've got quite a few like that. I've already called one from last year that's going to be after him already, so I know they're there waiting on him, and they're all aware of it. Again, I'd like to thank not only the drivers, the wives, especially my wife. She puts up with me all the time. And I'd like to thank Exxon, too, because without them, we all couldn't be here. And I really think it's special for the guys like Brian and Norm that come down on their own. I think it just goes to show you what you really get into once you get into the truck driving championships, and I think it's the greatest.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I'll tell you, he's been behind us at Exxon on the truck rodeos and safety and everything ever since I've been there. Buddy and I have been up and down and around the corner a couple times together. We almost went behind the woodshed a couple times.
And you see him come out in the winter.
But you pulled us through, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, bud.
And last but not least, Robert McGrath, our staff safety specialist.
Actually, really, Wayne, I want to thank you. I think you have done a wonderful job of putting this together for us. You can cut that or whatever you want, so I'm not going to talk to that on the bar. This guy here, I know you guys know how much work he's put forth. This little party and gathering here is just one piece of what Wayne Gardner has done for this championship. I know you're going to miss him since he's going to a new job down in new good job, I think, down at Southeastern Terminal, superintendent down there. I don't think that means Wayne won't be back. I think he's going to push a lot of drivers down there, so he's going to try to be back next year. One thing about this championship, I walked in the front door first day of the Dallas Market Hall down there and got kind of queasy feeling in my stomach. The intensity in that building was just tremendous. You guys worked really hard to get there, and I know Al worked really hard to get there. And I saw Al when he walked off the stage, and that man was about the happiest man that he could ever be. And for those of you that have made it here and were state champions, I know you worked really hard and represented the company very well. And I want to say thank you from Houston headquarters staff for all the work you put in it. keep up the good work and keep up the safe driving. Thank you.
Well, I am going into a new assignment, but no, I think this truck driving championship is kind of like a hobby. It's in my blood, so you'll probably still be seeing me around.
Please be seated. Most of you had had a chance to meet our National Truck Driving Championships Committee. They've worked very hard in the states and in the national program for years, and they have certainly put a lot into this program. I would now like to have you recognize the committee for all the work that they have done. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Committee. As committee chairman, I want to express my personal appreciation for their dedication to the trucking industry, safety, and the state and national truck driving championships program. We are here tonight to honor our national champions and special award winners, as well as celebrate what has been a most successful program. I also want to thank each of you for your interest and support of highway safety, and thank you for your contribution to the success of this program. Not all the drivers here tonight could place first, second, or third and sit at our head table. But you are the all winners, not only because you are state champions, but also because you are truly professional drivers. You all understand and appreciate your safety responsibilities to yourself, to your families, and to other highway users to drive safely and courteously. And we, as an industry and highway users ourselves, owe you a great debt of gratitude. We will be recognizing our champions and special award winners later in the program. Ladies and gentlemen, please continue eating, and the waiters continue passing out that lovely dessert, but I would like to move on with the program. I think most of you would agree that this outstanding banquet is a fitting close to the national championships. We've had 3 days of excellent competition. While all those who competed could not win national honors, you all are champions. They had to earn the right to come here to compete in the National Truck Driving Championships. I want to thank all of the contestants for their interest and sportsmanship. Now I'd like to recognize our finalists and our champions. First, I would like to introduce our third place winners. Each has won a handsome plaque for third place and a check for $250. The plaque was presented to the winners at the Convention Center and is at their table place now. I would ask each man and his wife or friend to please stand as I introduce them. Our third place winner in the twins class from the state of Missouri, from Yellow Freight System, Joel Haynes and his wife Dorothy. Our third place flatbed driver from the state of District of Columbia, from Giant Foods Incorporated, John Turner and his wife Betty. Our third place tank truck driver from the state of Georgia, driving for Overnight Transportation Company, Clarence Churchwell and his wife Nanette. Our third place winner in the auto transporter class from the state of Texas, driving for Hadley Auto Transport, Randolph Harris and his wife Marie. Third place winner in the 5-axle class from the state of Indiana, driving for the Kroger Company, William J. Glennon and his wife Mary Jane. Our third place winner in the 4-axle class from the District of Columbia, driving for Roadway Express, John E. Milton and his wife Sherry. Third place in the 3-axle class from the state of Kansas, driving for PepsiCo Food Service, Dan Kenmore and his wife Karen. Third place winner in the straight truck class from the state of Oregon, driving for Consolidated Freightways, Craig Evans and his son Kenneth. Please be seated. Our second place winners. In the second place winner in the twin class from the state of Ohio, driving for Consolidated Freightways, Henry Fleshman and Norman Jean. Second place in the flatbed class from the state of Maryland, driving for Giant Food Incorporated, David Stokes Jr. and Bonita. Our second place winner in the tank class from the District of Columbia, driving for Giant Foods, Salvatore Lagana Jr. and his wife Sandy. Second place winner in the auto transporters from the state of Wisconsin, driving for Janesville Auto Transport, William Rosie and his wife Lisa. Second place winner in the 5-axle class from the state of Virginia, driving for WHPT Trucking Company, Leonard Huffman and his wife Lucy Jean. Second place in the 4-axle class from the state of Connecticut, driving for a yellow freight system, Frank A. DeGeorge and his friend Kostrika. Second place in the 3-axle class, March Hand and his spouse Lisa from the state of Illinois, driving for Yellow Freight Systems. Second place in the straight truck class from South Carolina, driving for Southeastern Freight Lines, Larry Grice and his wife Barbara. Those are our second place finishers. Our champions in the twin trailer class from the state of Colorado, driving for Yellow Freight Systems, Patrick Fulton and Bernadette, his wife. First place in the flatbed class from the state of Minnesota, driving for the Star and Tribune, Richard Gillespie and his wife Sharon. Our champion in the tank truck class from the state of Florida, driving for Public Supermarkets, David E. Kite and his wife Lisa. Our champion in the auto transporters class from the state of Missouri, driving for Cason's Transport Company, Michael Sargent and his friend Jackie Anderson. Our champion in the 5-axle class from the state of Louisiana, driving for Exxon Company USA, Albert McGee and his spouse Jerry Ann. Champion in the 4-axle class from the state of Illinois, driving for Yellow Freight Systems, Chet Radwin and his wife, Alanda. Our champion in the 3-axle class from the state of California, for ABF Freight Systems, Dale Cox and his wife, Shirley. Our champion in the straight truck class from the state of Pennsylvania, driving for APA Transport Corporation, Robert Dolan and his wife, Wendy. Each of our champions has received a trophy that is in front of them. For first place, $1,000. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you our 1990 National Truck Driving Championships drivers. To present the 1990 Vehicle Condition Award, I would like to call upon Cal Kaplan of Associates Commercial Corporation. Cal?
It is my extreme pleasure to announce the 1990 winner of the ATA Vehicle Condition Award. From the state of Maryland, Overnight Transportation Company, Anthony J. Cicinaro.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. I surely get lucky. Thank you.
Our next special award will be for Rookie of the Year. I would like to have Mr. Kem Thompson, Vice President of Safety for Yellow Freight Systems and a former chairman of the National Truck Driving Championships Committee, to please come forward to present this award.
He resides in the community of Lake Delton, Wisconsin. I give you David Shervin, Roadway Express, the state of Wisconsin.
Now an award that is treasured by most states. I would like to have Mr. Dave Borngasser, the Vice Chairman of the Championships Committee, come forward to present the team trophy.
Thank you, Dick. Each year, this committee recognizes a state which enters the top-scoring team of drivers in a national competition. The awards, which go to the State Trucking Association and to each member of the winning team, are sponsored by the American Trucking Associations. To determine the winning team, the average semifinal scores of each state's team is computed by the recorders. To be eligible for the award, a state must field a team of at least 3 champions. It was a close competition this year. In 4th place, with an average of 365 points, was the team from Kansas. There was a tie for 2nd place at 371 points between the teams from Colorado and Minnesota. And this year's team, with an average score of 390 points, is from the state of Pennsylvania. We would appreciate if the members of the winning team from Pennsylvania would join the chairman.
The next special award we have at this Truck Driving Championships is the Suntimer Award. This award is in the memory of a former ATA Safety Director, Goldie D. Suntimer. I would like to call upon Mr. Bob Hendel, past chairman of the 1990 National Truck Driving Championships Committee, to come forward to present this award. Mr. Hindle.
You know, tonight we're here to honor all of you drivers who are champions. Tonight I feel honored to present a most important award. This is the most coveted individual award presented at the ATA National Truck Driving Championships. It is given in honor of the late Goldie D. Suntimer, Director of Safety for the American Trucking Associations. Mr. Suntimer understood the importance at the trucking industry to our country's well-being and the impact of our industry on all Americans. He also understood the importance of safe truck operations to drivers, their families, and all our highway users. Mr. Suntimer was a great supporter of the Truck Driving Championships program and took great personal satisfaction from it. The award we will make tonight is named for Goldie Suntimer because it exemplifies the true professional truck drivers in this country. Those individuals who understand their responsibility for safety and fulfill that responsibility day in and day out. Before I announce the winner of the 1990 Suntimer Award, I would like to recognize and ask them to stand the past winners who are with us this evening. And I would ask that you hold your applause until they're all standing, and then we'll give them the recognition they so justly deserve. We're going back to 1970. Gene Cheney. 1974, we honored Henry Fleischman. 1976, George Hollick. 1977, Chet Radwin. 1978, Bob Gardner. 1982, Bill Wynn. 1984, Bob Sherman. And in 1988, Ron Nagel. Now, if there are any other Sondheim Award winners whom we didn't know were here, please stand and be recognized. And now let's let them hear from us, okay? Thank you, gentlemen. The Sondheim Award is the most coveted individual award, and accordingly, the winner is carefully selected through a detailed consultation and review process that entails discussions and recommendations from key National Truck Driving Championships officials, including personal interview judges, pre-trip judges, den mothers, and others, as well as some consideration to scoring in the various areas. But please remember, our emphasis is not on scores or numbers. It is in the attitude, dedication, commitment to safety, as well as ability. Our winner will be proud, we know, of his accomplishments, as others before him have been proud. And he will be honored to join that select group. The 1990 ATA National Truck Driving Championship Sondheim Award has been in the industry for 27 years. He has a 23-year safe driving record. He has been in attendance through his competition on a state level at 12 national competitions. He has been a champion in his class 6 times. I guess by now you're starting to get a feel of whom it may be. He represents the state of Minnesota. In this competition, he was in the flatbed class. He works for Star Tribune, and guess what his name is? Dick Gillespie.
I would now like to call on Mr. John Hickey. Mr. Hickey is the president of Associates Insurance Group, the Dallas-based affiliate of Associates Commercial Corporation. Mr. Hickey joined the Associates in 1981 as vice president. He was elected senior vice president in 1985, elected executive vice president in 1986, and to his present position in 1990. Prior to that, he had 12 years' experience in financial services with major insurance and investment firms. Associates Commercial Corporation is the nation's leading source of capital for financing of heavy-duty trucks and truck trailers. The Associates has a total assets of more than $16 billion. I now call on John Hickey to please make a few remarks to this distinguished audience. John?
Thank you, and good evening. This is our third opportunity to participate in awards at the National Truck Driving Championships, and the second year for our scholarship program. On behalf of the entire Associates Management team, I want to thank the American Trucking Associations and you for allowing us to participate once again. At the Associates, one of our most important values is quality. We try to deliver quality products and quality service, and that's why we feel a real affiliation for this group here. We feel it's extremely important to reward you now for the quality of your driving skills and to reward your children and grandchildren in the future for the quality and excellence they've shown in earning their scholarships. As you all know, the economy is once again sputtering. We're seeing the trucking industry, as usual, faced with more than its share of challenges. In the last 6 years, I've had the privilege of working closely with many people in the trucking industry, and I can say that I have never seen a group of people who, no matter what gets thrown at them, will rise again and again to the challenge. And we at the Associates are very proud to do our small part to help in the growth of this industry. Despite whatever the economy brings in 1991, and right now it's looking a little shaky, I just want to assure you that we'll be back. We'll be back at this great event next year in Minnesota. We'll be back with our medallions, with our awards, and with our scholarships. And as a matter of fact, due to the tremendous number of extremely deserving young people that have already applied for the scholarships, next year we're going to boost the total a little bit, and we'll make it $12,000 in scholarships. And I just want to say in closing that we really believe in the trucking business, and we believe in you. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And on behalf of the Rodeo Committee, I want to thank you for your support also. Thank you. All of us understand and appreciate the need for top management support for truck safety. We need it in our companies. We need it in the industry. We are most fortunate to have with us this evening the Senior Vice President of ATA, Lana Batts. Lana will have a few words to say, and then she will make the presentation to the Grand Champion Award. Lana?
And now I have the opportunity to give the Grand Champion presentation. This is a relatively new award, which we added only 4 years ago. The Grand Champion is based upon a handicap system. The Grand Champion will receive a ring, which I know he will wear with pride. Of course, we can't present the ring tonight because it must be sized. However, our winner will go home with just more than a promise of things to come, because we will have a handsome plaque for him, plus a little savings bond from Mr. Hickey up here, who's going to help us. Now, he also will attend the ATA convention in November in Miami Beach. But I'd like to recognize the two past Grand Champions who are here with us tonight. Dick Gillespie, sitting up here, if you'd stand up. And Bobby Sherman from Exxon Company, USA, who was our Grand Champion last year. Bob, you still here? Great. Way in the back. John, you come up. John Hickey is going to help me with this award tonight. It is my pleasure to announce the grand champion, one of our younger grand champions, if not the youngest, from APA Transport in the Straight Truck Division, Bob Dolan. Thank you very much. We have a great champion.
Thank you, Lana, for those remarks and for your continuing contribution to the motor carrier industry, and especially for taking the time to be with us tonight. All the awards have been awarded. It's time to congratulate our national champions and our special award winners, including Mr. Gillespie, Mr. Serrero, the Rookie of the Year, David Sherwin, the Grand Champion, Robert Dolan, and the state of Pennsylvania for winning the team trophy. You are all winners as a result of your safety record, your skill, and your attitude. We have enjoyed working with you. We enjoy working with the officials, and we greatly appreciate your time and efforts for ATA, the trucking industry, and to make the 1990 National Truck Driving Championships a great success. I suppose it doesn't usually make much sense to save the best for last. If that's a sin, I'm guilty. Certainly none of us would be here today without the support of our ladies. And so our last act of recognition, gentlemen, is to stand and give them a round of applause. Next year, we will be in my hometown of Minneapolis, Minnesota. We look forward to the National Truck Driving Championships to coming to our state August 14th through the 18th. We hope that you will all be there with us. On behalf of the American Trucking Association and the ATA National Truck Driving Championships Committee, I wish you a safe journey home and a safe year as you travel the country. I consider it a genuine pleasure and privilege to be associated with you and this committee. We are all part of a truly good industry. Good night, and see you next year. Thank you.